if we collectively work together, then if we can get these people, some collaboration groups that Ms. Johnson, Katrina Johnson is gathered, and we could get some deals if a couple of the communities are working together. But for me to kind of tell them we're doing this and we haven't done anything, I can't, can't do that. So if we can I get a date when we can get a tree inventory of what we've done, and what needs to be completed?
Of what, the 50 we took down, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like we have a map of University Park, a house by house, which house has been removed, because when you remove a tree, you should replace a tree. So we need to know what houses, what locations trees were removed so we can plan to replace, and then what needs to come down moving forward. And if we can get this started before, the springtime, we can get a jump on it. So can I get a tentative date when we can get that tree inventory list to me? I'd appreciate it. Just think about it, I'll come back. Working with a group of people, saving our schools, people, please, residents, please, come to the school board meetings. If you just come to a couple of meetings, you'll hear the way some of these board members hear what they think about our children over in University Park. They single-handedly talk about University Park and those kids. They do things, going to the board meetings, I've heard a parent say her kid transferred to UP. He failed algebra at the previous school. Creek Monique refused to give him Algebra 1 and gave him Algebra 2. Well, it kind of makes sense. If you don't pass Algebra 1, you're not going to pass Algebra 2. So they're setting him up to fail. And you hear teachers talk about different stories like this. You hear parents talk about different stories like this. But then when you go to a school board meeting, you see the same four people. The same four people. So we need residents to come out, to listen to these stories, and then we get together to figure out how we can either remove these school board members or get on the board to get reactivating the consent decree and things of that nature. So please come to the school board meetings. I just want to brag a little. I went to the Women's March. I'm all empowered about being a woman and putting women in places where we are not always accepted. There's been a lot of the Me Too going on where women are fed up with being sexually harassed and things like that. Women are tired of what's going on with number 45. Yes. So if you've never been looking at it on TV, it might seem some kind of way, but it is magical going. An older white woman said to me, "Thank you for coming. Thank you." Grab my hand. I said, "No, thank you." Because I'm thinking we down there, they were primarily talking about women of color. I'm a woman of color. She's like, "No, thank you," because I've been marching for women's rights since I was 18. And she looked like she was about 80. She says, "We need more young," well, she was calling me younger, but we need younger people to come out and support women's rights. So I'm just proud to say I went to that, and it was awesome. Mr. Dilworth. Yes, I was one of the ones who voted no. But I believe, like Oprah Winfrey, I follow her philosophy. Everybody shouldn't be able to write a check. Everybody shouldn't be able to write a check. So after talking to you, I called the bank, and I talked to other villages. The treasurer can view everything. They can go online and look at everything at the bank, as long as the administrator authorizes it. And our administrator is Cecilia Kelly. So I know you want to be a signature, and I think it's so you can get online and see everything without, going through the hassle of being allowed in Village Hall, etc. But I agree. I think you should see those documents, but I don't think that everybody in the village should be able to write, or a lot of people in the village should be able to write a check. You can't manage your money when you have 5 or 6 different people writing checks. That's just my personal opinion. But if we, the village manager, you, the mayor, can get together and decide if our administrator will authorize our treasurer to look at these books. So when I do have $1 million questions like I do every board meeting, he can answer. So it's just something for you guys to think about. So I talked a little bit, when can I have a plan for trees?
I will look into it tomorrow, Trustee Wilson.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a call.
You know, I only got 9 people, weather pending. We doing the best we can.
So do you have the information for the guy who did the work? Maybe he can tell me, make a plan. I can work with him and Katrina and I can work with him and he can tell us what trees somebody's gotta know what trees he's cutting.
I have a general list of what we took down.
We're willing to help
what
you.
we
We'll
took
call you
down.
tomorrow.
You know, I have that. I can tell you what, you know.
Okay, we'll call you tomorrow.
Streets we went down.
And for clarification, we did have a treasurer a long time ago, and he used to sit right there, and he used to bring a bucket of checks. And he sat there, and that's all he did was sign the checks, sign checks. A big basket, sign the checks, sign. And sometimes I can see him at the village hall, looking at television, signing checks, signing checks. So it's not that he's writing the checks. The checks are already written. He's validating the checks and making sure that the invoice or the PO is matching the check that he's going to sign. That's basically it. And I have yet to find out, because, you know, they took me off as well. So don't feel bad. Treasurer, I wasn't authorized to look at anything online either. I was taken off, and thank God for that reason. But I was taken off the account, and I could not look at anything online. So maybe I can get the authorization. I don't even want to look at it anymore. So since I've been off over 2 years, I just forget it. But that's what he was doing. So don't feel bad, we're together on that one, okay? And I applaud you for attending, trustees, you're always doing that. And it was a man that said, it was something I heard, I thought I'd see on television too, but they were saying, a man said, we asked the question, it's not normal for a woman 32 years old to not have a child or be married. And he said, why not? And the woman responded and said, because it's just not normal. But the woman was a young woman, went to college, got her degree, got a profession, was wealthy, and then she decided to get married after that. So that was just an example of how the treatment that women receive, that's not normal. She can't be normal because she's 32, single, without a husband or child. So those are the things that we're up against, and women's suffrage is in the Constitution, so people can read it. Yes, sir?
All right, good evening, everyone. Karen's not here today, so I'm seeing if my backup got me. If I get the ragging on, just give me my, there you go. Because I can keep going. My sidekick is not here today, so I got my backup out there. I didn't do much. Trustee Brooks' back was bothering him pretty bad. I didn't get a chance to go to the MLK event. Karen, our Pastor Hunt from New Hope Church was there. Karen stayed at home with me, although we were wanted to go, but there was a lot of good comments about the mayor, and I think a couple of trustees were here, so I'll leave the mayor to comment on that. But while I was at home, I did think about a couple things. Because I'm at home doesn't mean that I cannot use the email, so I did get a chance. I've just bobbled across some things that's going to come down in the future with some spending, and I emailed the chairwoman and vice chair of the Police and Fire Commission, as well as the mayor and the village manager, with my old to-do list, and some things that the fire department and the police department need to get done, as well as some trustees, so I'll leave the mayor to set the agenda on that. Also, for everyone with the ICC, I'm guilty of it. Let's make sure we fill out the card on that now that we have the cable studio up. And those who do see it, including on the cameras. So let's make sure we fill that out. I'm gonna make sure I do mine this week. They're not having a hearing until the spring, but let's try to flood their ICC, the site in reference to University Park and Aqua Water. Let's flood their complaint line. Then also, I did get a chance to go to a funeral, and I just want to make a comment about University Park. It was Chief Brown for University Park, my chief from Country Club Hills. Oh, I forgot what department I was at. Country Club Hills, and the beautiful thing, while I was there, I ran into a bunch of mayors, aldermen, and, well, actually, they have all aldermen and mayors in that side of I-80. But they were making great compliments about you, Mayor, Chief paid. I didn't even realize they pay attention, but when the comment went to, hey, so your chief, Theo, your chief is now your village manager, huh? And then kind of got into a conversation, and what I liked about it was that they were very attentive of what's going on. And let me say this about the word corruption, because this word corruption keep coming up. But let me tell you what my partners said after 2 years. We've been on the department, 2 decades. These are guys that, again, I work the streets. They will put their life on the line for me. I'll do the same for them. In fact, the day I got injured, another officer was injured with me. The comment they made was, Theo, we're happy for you, because this is what we know. If you're up there on that board, if there is some stealing, if there is some corruption, it won't be no more. So everyone who keeps using the word corruption, be careful what you're saying. As I'm sitting here, I'm wearing my department pin. I have a problem, and then not only that, that man is a police officer as well. We both carry guns. But we're not corrupt. The problem come in is that the corruption or the problem or someone who did something wrong in the past, let me correct that. When someone has did something wrong and we correct it as a board, that's what's happening. And I have to say, every person from Trustee Oscar Brown down here to Trustee Liz Williams, I am proud to work with them. So I was very touched for the fact that everyone made these comments at the funeral. And of course, we broke away, but University Park, I don't need to repeat everything Chief Pate said, because it is happening. Last but not least, I want to thank the cable studio. Neva's doing an excellent job. I'm so excited for her. When I turn on the TV to see the fireplace going and the music, the mayor said it was going to happen. What is great is when someone who believes and they say it's going to happen and it happens. That's the most beautiful thing about the universe. And if you're a believer, God. And lastly, the snow. The snow. Gary, I'm going to tease you a little bit. Thank you. The best part I liked about it is when your trucks came down side by side at 5 tons, and you gave the honk while I was at the dinner table to let me know, Trustee, don't complain or send no emails. I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you and good night. Honk. All right, so everyone, see you next board meeting. I appreciate you. I'm glad we're moving forward. And trustees, residents, and Madam Mayor, it's always a pleasure to come and sit next to you during the board meeting.
Good evening, everybody. Number one, thank you for coming out. It's cold in here. To me, it's kind of cold. I'm cold. So I appreciate you guys coming out, and I see you guys with your coats on and everything. It's warranted. It's definitely warranted. And I want to say right now, it has taken me 3 elections to get up here. I am so proud to be up here because you know what it takes? I remember my party right here, and we said we're going to bring some sort of stability to this board here. And I'm not saying that we did it alone. I'm just saying that when I was sitting out there, and what I heard up here, and what I saw up here, it's not that way anymore. I see individuals that are working together.
Yes.
And we added a piece that we missed so bad, and that we missed so terribly. And we have a manager now that is working intelligently and working hard, even though he was on the beaches of Mexico. But I enjoyed that aspect of it, but he needed that. But he's working so hard because there was two decades of mismanagement. And when you're talking about riding a ship and what it takes to ride a ship and how long it takes to ride a ship, can you imagine? I don't even want to see the books over there because I know what you guys are going through. Because we visited your office and there's a person in every little cubbyhole in the office working on our stuff. And I said to myself, that's amazing, but that's 2 decades of mismanagement. And I'm proud that it took 3, although it hurt those first 2 times, but I'm proud to be on this particular board here. And during the campaign, we have a tendency to flare up from time to time. My colleagues right here next to me, we had it out a little bit during the campaign, but right now I'm proud to sit next to them also, because we are working things out. I'm learning a lot from them. Honestly, I'm learning a lot from them because they're my friends first. But when we got in the heat of the battle, it was tough. It was very tough. Seeing Theo walk up to a house and I'm behind him, literature that wasn't great, and you know, but we kept going. And for every resident out there who's going to get an opportunity to see us because we campaigned on it, transparency is happening. This is the town that works. It's going to work. It's a little town that's going to work. Last night I was invited to a political event because I work for Madam Clerk in Chicago, and we get a chance to get invited to a lot of different events. And I was there with the former governor last night, and I'm going to tell you, all of the things that are going on in Cook County now, what we have here is a jewel. It's a diamond in the rough. And from Keely to Gary and the things that they're doing in their departments, their department heads, they are really working. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad to be on this board. And John sits next to me, and we have a connection downtown too, because one of the judges that I work for went to school with her. So I'm in good company all the way around. And if I had the chance to do it again, I'd do it all over again. All over again. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, I'm going to be brief. Because I know the folks who are going to watch this are already asleep. I just want to say that we had a great finance committee meeting. It's a shame that there are not more people. We just barely have the quorum. And I had to use my trustee liaison body to make that quorum. With all of the financial difficulties this village has experienced, the involvement and interest by this community is pitiful. Pitiful. But I also want to thank IRH Developments for the incredible job that they are doing. I mean, you have no idea of the job that they are doing, both John and Ed, despite roadblocks that people have tried to throw in their way in trying to help us get out of this absolute mess. It is beyond anything that I could have imagined. And I want to also send kudos to our village manager, Director of Public Safety, Chief Pate, Manager Pate, for his incredible work that he's been doing in pushing things on so many fronts. You know, I used to think I was pretty good when back in the day, my stuff. But I got to say that you're almost as good as I am, or was. And I also want to thank Ms. Jenkins, Neva, because I know she's working very hard to get all of the dust out of the studio, get it painted and fixed up so it's professional looking. And I am certain that she's not only going to bring us back online, as she has done already, but she's going to take us to the next level. Yes. So that we will have probably one of the premier cable studios around, so that she can emulate the legacy that someone sitting right here started.
I got old pictures to prove it.
Right, so tell your friends and tell your neighbors. Finance committee meetings are the third Wednesday right here at 90 Town Center. Every third Wednesday of the month. We expect to see you there. And to show you how pitiful it is, and I want to is Sasha's still here, he's a new member to the finance committee, but we haven't seen the new member of the finance committee yet for two meetings. So that just, if you wonder why the village was in such bad shape, you're looking at it, if you pull up a mirror, not necessarily you folks that are here, but if for those that are listening or perhaps will listen to this, if you ain't part of the solution, then you're part of the problem.
Yes, sir.
And you need to get up off, as the mayor, the former Mayor Morial said in New Orleans, you need to get up off your ass and do something.
Okay.
Okay. That's all my comments. I'll brief enough there.
For my part, I promise to be verbose and long-winded, and then perhaps I shall be brief. First, I want to tell everybody, first, thank you all for coming out tonight. We truly appreciate your efforts and support to come out. And I also like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a Happy New Year who may not just be viewing. Kennedy once said that our fate, my dear friends, Kennedy once said, our fate, my dear friends, lies more in your hands than in mine. I say that to, again, answer the call and announce the call of Ms. Stroud, and I encourage everyone to go and register to vote, especially those who are about to turn 18 sometime before February 20, so you can vote in the March 22, 2018 primary. Your vote is your voice, to paraphrase another famous woman, our Clerk D. Jones, and I hope that she will return soon to take over her duties. I got a little personal story on this one. It was my mother's birthday weekend. God rest her soul. And she used to tell me the story about a grasshopper and the ants. That grasshopper would go out and he'd party all summer and do his thing. And he wouldn't prepare for the winter. But that ant, he did the right thing. He gathered up his stores, he gathered up his grain, he went out and found the corn, and he was prepared for the winter. I say that to say that you do not prepare for the winter at winter time, because you'll be like that grasshopper partying, it will be too late. You prepare for the winter and the summer. We should prepare for public safety now, before the weather thaws and crime rises, because as sure as the winter will come, I'm here to tell you, even though it's cold now, summer will come. Crime rates typically rise at that time, and we just came off of a bad summer for the Village of University Park. Heck, a bad summer in my opinion for anywhere, but more especially for the Village of University Park. We need to prepare for construction now. We need to prepare to build an additional salt shed now, so we can always have salt on hand and available during construction season that is soon to come. We have the best staff here in the world. I applaud our village manager and I applaud our Public Works Director, Gary Richardson. I know he has ordered enough salt to last us through the winter because he prepared in the summer. And I know that all of our staff is going to think of excellent and unique ways to diversify our revenue sources to bring in the necessary revenue that we need without affecting the taxpayers adversely, like we did with the head tax. My mom told me another story about an ant and a rubber tree plant. And that ant had high hopes. I have high hopes for this village as well. I have high hopes in my staff. And let us love one another. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, my turn. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm really, really happy. And I was just bragging just last night. And I'm just so overwhelmed. The respect that I do finally get here on this board, it's been trying. It's been very difficult. I have my hat on Marge and all, but I'm very, very appreciative of these people up here today. Each and every one of them. And Chief Davis has been over the top, as they say, that's some competition. He is good. I'd like to just give you the reports tonight. State Representative Will Davis will be on tonight. I hope someone taped it. He's hosting on Carol Martin. Representative Davis is a panel of the lawmakers, which is discussing the spring legislation session, the governor vetoed of education funding bill, marijuana legislation, as well as Governor Rauner's executive order banning lawmakers from working on property tax appeals. So these are, if you want to write people, write these letters. And I said that I talked to a bunch of mayors constantly, and I told them, let's let's get a campaign letter going, so we can get some things happening in our towns as well. Some of the other villages are talking about doing it, and this is no way they say to run the government. The Republicans of the United States decided that they would rather shut down the government, which I work for, and deal with the provide rather stable funding for health insurance for your children, protect the dreamers, immigration, young adults, and growing up in the United States. They sent a man with 4 children away that had never been to Mexico in his life, and they just left. So if we really want to exercise our energy and our rights, these are the things to let us write. Use that while you're up all night long and writing at 6 in the morning, 7, but that's okay. Take action on something positive. And as far as when you were talking about the water, I did contact Cubs, Citizen Utility Board. They have already gone to court with the water company as well about those ways, to let you know that. Issues. The light on Central, thank you. I don't know, I finally got that message because I was yelling and screaming about it. There are no lights, they're repaired now. And reports also, we're looking to hold a contest on the new village stickers for the kids, and we'll be putting that are out in the school district and in our library board and on our website, our town center site, our digital and all, that we want them to have a part, the kids to have a part in making our new symbol for the new stickers, for our village stickers. Southburg Mayor Managers, I've already mentioned it, they're seeking villages and towns to offer upcoming movie backgrounds. So that, like I said, example in Glenwood, they used Tom Hanks to shoot a movie, and they do this about and around the town, and they're very excited to hear about it again. Also, transportation meeting I will be going to, again, I go to the first Tuesday of every month, and I'm talking to the Metro representative because I'm very upset about what's going on in our Metro station. We're at the end and the beginning. And every time it rains really bad, it floods, and the people have to go on the other side. And the manager, well, who's president of the transportation, Southburg Mayor Managers, has said, Mayor Covington has been repeatedly arguing about this. You get this done. So we need something done, and they're saying that they're going to work on it for the spring. I'm not hearing that anymore. So I'm putting their foot to the metal on this one. You've got to repair that metro station. That sign is not even effective anymore. It doesn't even show anymore. That's a slap in our face. But because we're talking so much, I'll let you know, the people, one of the developers came in and told me that they are reading next door. That's why a lot of them don't want to come over here. Because they said, you don't like yourselves, why should I come and do anything for you? So please, people, I mean, you can say what you want, talk to me, make phone calls, send me nasty letters, that's okay. Because the more haters, that's the better that I am. And I know that I'm doing something right. So I'm not going to fret that, and I said, I forgive you for that, and I'm moving forward, because I have things to do with this village and this board. I got a board, and I'm going to work with it, we're going to move it. I'm not going to give any energy to anything negative. In Connecticut, I brought back from Connecticut, people. When I was in Connecticut, I brought back someone that came here. I was very, very embarrassed. This is a billionaire company. They're the Base Investment Group. They have everything here, all kind of grants, how to expect this, how to move your opportunities of employment and strategies and that. They came here because I was there. They did a beautiful presentation, and they came here at one night at our village hall. And this is why we need to do some training. Because when he came up there, they do Ubers now, they don't rent cars. And he came up here, and it was cold Wednesday, very, very cold. He said the blinds was closed on him, and then he knocked on the door, and he said, I'm here to have a meeting with the mayor. He said, she's across the street. Now, everybody from there could see my car, and they closed the door on him. He was freezing. And then I said, I'm so sorry, I'll be right over there. I met him, and this man came to New York to do some work for us. And this is the type of treatment that he's getting because of all the negativity. That's not good. So please, I would like, manager, talk to some of the people that when people come, the courtesy of things should have said, well, sit down, have a seat, and I'll call the mayor and let her know you're here. Right. That's the proper thing we should do. We shouldn't tell them, but she's across the street, shut the door in his face at 5 o'clock because the village hall is not closed now. So that was a little bit embarrassing. When I have people and I talk to people and tell them all to give this big, get this yippee type of plain talk to them to come here and do something for us, and they get that type of treatment. And so I sat in my car with him. Well, he came to my office to meet with me and sat there in the cold, but he still met with me until 10 o'clock at night. Then I called, let him sit in the car with me till his Uber came. But I tried to call him back then, I called him back. So that's not how we do business, okay? So I appreciate a little PR work on that one. For the record, also, I'm excited about this. Anyway, I talked to the owner, which is a woman, it's a billionaire company, and she did eventually call me back. So that was a good thing. And I would like to work with the board. I talked to Trustee Brooks this afternoon about a retreat. There's some things that people are coming to us. Someone has put up a letter. They say that they're very interested in University Park and what we're doing, and they've seen us nationally. And they said that I will give you a letter, $5 million, to show my good faith in development in University Park. Wow. So I'm very happy that all the negativity, God is still blessing us anyway. You can't stop God's giving. So we're going to get a retreat and start brainstorming some things. 3 developers have met with the Chief Payne and myself, and they're really interested in doing things. Hopefully things will break out. We'll have a job fair here. I'm not going to say the date because I'm not going to be held to that. And then you'll start seeing some dirt moving. So I'm really, really excited about that. Also, for the record, let me make this very clear. Mr. Lanier was hired here, right at the previous end of my administration. Okay, the very end of the administration that I started. As a matter of fact, there are 2 people on the committee to recruit, just like I had 3 people. I had Trustee Wilson, Trustee Payton, and Trustee McMullen. But the other 2 people I had the paperwork to prove it was Trustee, at that time, was Mr. Griffin and Larry Brown. They were on that committee. And they chose 15 people. The 15th person was Milton Payton. I voted for him. So, and he didn't make it. And they narrowed it down. And it's on file, and boy, you queens, get out there and do it, because it's there on the paperwork. And he was hired. I did not hire Mr. Lanier, for the record. I did not hire Mr. Lanier. And also, we do not own the strip down there where Twins is. We do not own that strip. So I want that clear. And also, it's something, I want to share a story as well. It's important that we look at leadership at an early age. If you pay attention to our children playing sports, trustees, after the games line up, if you ever notice, when the children are finished, they line up, and what do they do, trustee? Yes. Although that was their opposition and their competition, they still have the courtesy to say good game, knowing that they might come back again. We should even look at that as our children and what they're doing. And with the children who get along after a game, elections are over, let's get together and be together as a whole.